Well, that's a turn up for the books, and I made it into zone one. It doesn't look it there. It's like it looks as though it's borderline there, but I had all my money back, so it must have been inside the border. Zone one for me. That's a rare event. Now, if you remember, just something I say every week. Look, I had this guy always get one of their eye lines very close. I don't want to say spot on. It's never spot on, but very close. So I did have this guy's eye line spot on there. But the guy from the back, they'd got the average a little bit lower than mine. Not a lot in it from that when you look at that far away, but it was enough that it was actually, miles out. But still, zone one. Now, if you remember, we were further over to the right last week. Let me get last week's picture up. Last Saturday's average, which is there. And there's mine in red there. And I said, as much as I liked this cluster over on the right hand side, if that's a sign of what the judges are going to do, then for my cross to be a winning average, there would have to be judges further out over here, and I didn't think they would go further out over here. I thought that's about as far to the right as they're going to go, so I moved mine inwards towards where our average was, and I said I was going a bit higher as well, which turns out to have worked out okay for me, because that meant it put me into zone one. I should probably, well, even if I'd sort of hadn't gone a bit higher, I still would have been in zone one, and probably a little bit closer, but it wouldn't have made any difference. I wouldn't have had anything for it. Still only had, 100% my money back. So yeah, zone one for me. So let's have a look at how the judges got to that conclusion. Well, here they are. 7 of them, there's 8 judges, 7 of them mainly around this area where we were, and then we've got one all the way over here to the right, which doesn't really make a lot of sense with where he's looking. He's obviously looking quite steep. You can see that from his eyes, the angle of his eyes. He was looking in sort of that direction, and you could interpret it as looking a little bit steeper or a little bit lower, but by no stretch were you getting it sort of up here. Because most of them went round this area. So yeah, like I said, the judges that have gone on the right hand side here, I did say to me that was about as far right as they were going to go. I couldn't see any judges, even though one did. I couldn't see any more judges going even further to the right for the average to have been in that area, which is why I went in the middle of all hours. But there we are. I suspect they'll take that one out because it's so far out from this cluster. I mean, you might consider that a valid cross, and some of you probably, might have gone there. But if the cluster is mainly sort of around this area, then it sort of makes sense to me that they're going to take the one that's miles out from the cluster out. So let me skim to the end then and see what they did. Yeah, they've taken Andy's out. Andy Braithwaite's has gone, and they've just listed 7 in, and they've called it on there. So, okay, I think the judging was fair this week. We don't always agree with where they put the crosses, but as long as the judging was fair. And again, what's noticeable is I don't think any of those judges' crosses were any closer than zone 3. So we're better than the judges. Right, let's have a look at this week's picture. Right, I've put my first cross of the week in there so far then. I think I had a little glimpse at this yesterday in the middle of doing something else and hurried it. So why is it there? Well, I started off with this fella on the left-hand side because I think we had the clearest sort of indication of where he's looking there. He seems to be the easiest one to... So I went in, I'll draw the lines through my cross so I can explain myself. So I thought he's looking in about that direction. Now he's a fair bit away from the ball, so of course we've got to go at an angle. Looking at the angle of his head and his eyes, it's sort of this side of him, so he's in front of him, but not too high. And it can't be that high because of the faces on the twins here. I'm assuming they're twins. They might just be the same fella in different poses, photoshopped on top of the other one. I don't know. But they're obviously, it's either the same guy or his twins. This one in the front's in absolute agony, but I've got the guy at the back. I'm not too sure on him. But if I draw a line from his eyeball up through there, because his face is turned to his right and his eye is going slightly to his left. So again, he's sort of looking in that sort of direction. And that's the nearest I could get the matchup with. I don't think I had this fella spot on actually, but I don't think it was far out. It was the best I could get for all three players there to be in that direction. So for him, it doesn't look too bad. And bearing in mind, it's also in front of this fella at the front, who's in front of himself. So the ball's nearer to us than all four of these players. So I've got to take that into perspective. But yeah, that's why I've gone when I've gone. So that's my first cross of the week. 29971303. That'll be the first one in a thing. Could change, probably will change. I'll see what you guys think now throughout the week. So leave me a coordinate for Saturday, so we can make another one on Saturday. Our average was pretty close this week. I think our average was in zone 1 this week, which is a good result. I'm pleased with that. The fact that our average and me were in zone 1, brilliant. And let me know how you got on too, because I think if you went near the average, you'd have been zone 1 this week. Right, that's that done. Let's have a look at Revcomps. I've got nothing for Thursday's draw. There's nothing interested me on this. This McLaren, I think the odds were too high. Yeah, 30,000. The others, yeah, didn't really have any interest in any of the others. The golf's been messed about with. It's at a stage 1 remap, so I wasn't interested in that. I wanted it to be a standard thing. So I got nothing on there for Thursday's draw. And then last night, they added some more. Mustang, too expensive to run and to play for. 10 a ticket on the Mercedes, 5,000 tickets, no. Porsche Taycan 4S, only a €5 ticket, but 20,000 tickets, so that'll put me off. This isn't bad, 7,999 tickets and £7 a ticket, but I had no interest in an XC90 7-seater. A camper van is interesting, only 8,000 tickets, but £12 a ticket, so that's put me off so far. But it does come with 10 grand cash, which is always handy, isn't it? But I haven't done anything on there yet. I don't think I've played for cars in the main draw now for a couple of weeks. I've been sticking to these auto draws. And because I hadn't played anything for a couple of weeks, I did do one on this Ford Focus ST for tonight. I might do this Audi. I'll see later in a week. That's not drawn till Saturday. So we'll see a bit later in the week. It's only £3 a ticket, but it's 10,000 tickets. But yeah, I did just to be in something, I did do one on this Ford Focus, but only one. So we'll see. We'll see how that gets on. See if I get a phone call from Robbie at about 10:10 tonight, because it's an auto draw. We know about this one, this 40,000 they're advertising. That's the telehandler. Ends tomorrow. It's only 31% sold. So that's that from me. Oh, and a Ford Bronco, 40,000 tickets. Well, and this telehandler was 50,000 tickets. So that's what puts you off, isn't it? I mean, when they're in a couple of pence, I like to play the 7 days performance one. And I think some of them tickets are like 7 pence and 10 pence. And I'll just have a couple of tickets here and there that might cost me £1. And it's like you tend not to miss that. You tend not to worry about it. And it only takes one number to drop in. So, you know, that's fine. So, right, that's it from me. Bit of a shorter video today. But let me know how you got on. Leave a coordinate for Saturday. And good luck, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your week.